Racing out at Kennelworth on Saturday, the 3rd of April. 8 races programmed, and we've got a PA, Pick 6, and obviously a best bet and a best value bet for you as well. But let's go straight to race number 1. Smallish fields, the order of the day, and you'll see by the betting that a lot of these races are looking a bit like boat races, 2 horses short at the top of the board. But let's go straight into race 1. Welcome to Cape Racing. It's a Juvenile Plate over 1,000 metres, and here I'm going to go with number 2, Barcelona. Second in the feature race, solid form, probably the best form in the race, you have to say, and does look to have a really good chance of getting another win under the belt. I do think Barcelona is going to be quite a nice horse, and I think one to follow in the future as well. Looks quite scopy, looks quite progressive. So 2 Barcelona to win it. For second, I'm going to go with the 5 horse. It's About Time. This is a well-bred horse making its debut, and let's just see what the betting does with that one. And then for third, I'm going to go with number 1, African Rain. Also has some solid form, consistent form as well, and I think could make a good presence about that race as well. But for me, Barcelona, best bet on the card. It comes nice and early. Get yourself a bet, get yourself some cash for the exotics. I think he'll win, and he'll start the day's proceedings off with a winning note. Right, let's move on to the second race. This is the tabonline.co.za, a maiden plate over 1,600 metres. And here I'm going with number 8 to win it. That's Razzle Dazzle Them from the Andre Nel yard. Looks to be a really smart horse in the making. Good second on debut, and there was a bit of money around on the day for it as well. And I think certainly one to follow here. I think it's going to take quite a bit of beating. For second, I'm going to go with number 1, What's in a Dream. Second in 2 of its last 3 races. Been knocking on the door, very, very consistent, but might just have found one too good here in the form of Razzle Dazzle Him. And I think those two will be right up there fighting it out. Another exacta proposition. We forget how well the exactas pay, and this one could be an exacta race. For third, I'm going to go with number 2, Pretty Betty. Good debut. Was a bit disappointing last time out, you have to say. If she reproduces her first run, well, she'll certainly be right there in the firing line as well. So 8, 1 and 2 for race number 2. Let's move on to the third race. This is the Venturescapes Pinnacle Stakes. It's over 1,000 metres. Smallish field once again, just the 7 runners. And I'm going to go with the Snafe runner. That's Phil's Dancer. Coming off a little bit of a rest, but this filly is very game. She's been competing probably in a little bit stronger company than this, so she drops down a little bit. I do think she's going to give a really good account of herself, and definitely one to include. For second, I'm going to go with the 6, Favorita. This is also well weighted in this type of contest, and I think she'll make a really good, strong case. So those two should fight it out, but just be aware of number 4, World's Your Oyster. He's a very strong sprinter. He's the type of horse you could get away from them and certainly finish the race off strongly too. So I wouldn't be leaving him out of the play as well. Not the easiest of races. I think it could be a little bit of a trappy race, but 7, 6 and 4 the numbers for me. Right, let's move on to race number 4. This is the www.caperacing.co.za, merit rated 80. This is a handicap over 1,000 metres as well. Quite a few sprint races taking part on the day. I'm going to go with Captain Dizzy to complete the hat-trick. Since being gelded, he's won his last 2, and he's won them pretty well. And I think there could be more to come. He's obviously had his issues. They said that he had a couple of soundness issues. I think that's all behind him now, and he's won 2 really good races. I think he's going to be a tough horse to beat here as well. So he's going to be my first choice, number 2. For second, I'm going to go with Camps Bay. A nice winner last time out. Just seems to do enough. And I do think there's going to be a bit more improvement to come from him. He hasn't done much wrong. He hasn't been out of the placings on any of his starts, and it was a well-deserved win last time out. So he comes into the race as my second selection. And then for third, I'm going to go with the 5 horse, What a Man, Pitt Staines runner. Also been running at the top of his game of late, and he looks set to give another competitive performance here as well. In fact, he could be the one that gives both these youngsters a bit of a fright. 2, 7, and then 5, the numbers for race number 4. Right, let's move on to race number 5. This is the Computer Form Online merit rated 90, a handicap over 1,200 metres this time. And my first choice here is going to be number 4, Marmalisa. Really has got some solid form and really did catch the eye. Finished that race off very well indeed, and I think there could be quite a lot more to come. So that's my first choice. For second, I'm going to go with number 1, Veronica Mars. Solid credentials, been there or thereabouts, and really is a game campaigner. And I think you can really expect to give of her best once again. She doesn't give many bad races, and I think she's going to be competitive here as well. So she's my second choice. And then for third, I'm going to go with the 5, II. This is going to be a horse having its peak run. It really has been there. It's been supported in the market a couple of times as well, and I think there's going to be quite a lot more to come. So another little trappy race, not much separating the three I've mentioned in the betting either, but I do think it's going to be competitive. 4, 1 and 5 for race number 5. Right, let's move on to race number 6. It's the all-to-come Pinnacle Stakes over 1,400 metres, and this is where my best value bet comes in. And I do think Mike Stewart's runner, well, that yard is on fire. They really are sending out the horses, and they're coming home at nice prices as well. Icon Princess isn't really a nice price, but I think she's a decent price in terms of what she's been showing. And trading at around 28 to 10, 3 to 1, that's a decent price for this type of contest, and I'm going to make her my best value bet. I think she'll win it, and I think she'll win it well. For second, I'm going to go with number 1, Majestic Mozart. He's been quite handy in his last couple of races. Obviously, he races against the best around. He's got a high merit rating. He's going to have to concede a bit of weight as well. But Pinnacle Stakes do favour the top-rated horses, so he will be there in the firing line, so you can make a case for him. For third, I'm going to go with number 2, Snow Report, another horse that's been running really consistently of late, and they're probably overdue to have that next career victory, and that'll be my third selection. So race number 6, we're going 3, 1 and 2, best value bet, Icon Princess. All right, move on to race number 7. This is the Racing Association merit rated 93, a divided handicap over 1,600 metres. Another small field, there is a scratching here as well. Number 7, Moroccan Flame, is out. And here is the very useful Marina, number 2. She looks set to be a progressive filly. I think she's highly, highly regarded by their stable, and she's obviously highly regarded in terms of her pedigree as well. She's beautifully bred. She's a sister to Marinarescu, and she runs in a similar style to him as well. But she looks like she's going to have a nice opportunity here to add to her winning tally. For second, I'm going to go with number 1, Elusive Fortune. This is a horse that's been really at the top of her game. She's been notching up wins, and in between those wins, she's been notching up a whole host of places as well. She's game, she's honest, and she is reliable, and she will give a good account of herself here as well. So 2 from 1. And then for third, I'm going for the 3, Heaven's Embrace. Come down in the ratings a little bit. She's not the most consistent around, but she could certainly fill that third place. I do think the top 2 will fight it out, and Heaven's Embrace should be there to pick up the pieces if any of them fluff their lines. 2, 1 and 3 for race number 7. 8th and final race on the card. This is the next race meeting at Kenilworth on the 7th of April, a maiden plate over 1,600 metres, and this is probably the biggest field on the day, and there is a scratching. You can take out number 10, Excelsior, not going to be lining up. So we go straight to my first choice, which is number 3, Son of Silk. This is a horse that's been knocking on the door, and he's been improving each and every start. Gets an opportunity here to go one better and break his maiden, and I think he might just well do that. Biggest danger could come from the Vaughan Marshall, Brandy and Coke. This is a horse that really has started to show bits of improvement. I remember first time out, there was quite a lot of money that came for this horse, and he hasn't really got on with it, but I do think he has got the ability, and this is the type of race that he certainly can pop up in. So he does come in as my second choice. For third, I'm going to go with the 4, Divergent. He's going to really appreciate the little bit of extra, and I think that's another one that you can make a case for the back end of your quartets. So those are the numbers for race number 8, 3, 1 and 4, but you might want to play that race quite wide when it comes to taking the exotics. Right, let's go take a look at the place accumulator now, and it's a cheap PA. Really just use this one as a base, and you can add to it or subtract as you see fit, but this one will cost you just the 16 Rand. I'm going banker 1 by 6 and 7, by 2 and 7, by 1 and 4, by banker 3, by banker 2, by 1 and 3. Add, especially that last leg, you might need to add a few, but that's a 16 Rand base for you, and you can work around that and add and subtract as you see fit. Right, move on to the pick 6. Another cheapy pick 6. This will cost you 144 Rand. I'm starting off with 2, 6 and 7 in the first leg, by 1, 2, 5 and 7. Then we go 1 and 4, by banker 3, Icon Princess. That's going to be the play for the day for me. And then I'm going 1 and 2, by 1, 3 and 4. So 2, 6, 7, by 1, 2, 5, 7, by 1 and 4, by banker 3, by 1 and 2, by 1, 3 and 4, 144 Rand that'll cost you. And that's your pick 6 for Kennelworth on the 3rd of April. Right, let's just remind you of the best bet on the card for me. That comes in race 1, and that's Barcelona. And a reminder that GGGaming offer a double stretch on these best bets that we bring you. So a double stretch for Barcelona, well worth getting stuck in the first race and get yourself some cash for the remainder of the day. Best value bet, well, that's going to come in race number 6 in the form of Icon Princess. And again, Double stretch available for Icon Princess makes her a very nice betting proposition indeed. And maybe if you want to go, you can even take a little bit of a double between those two. That's racing out at Kenilworth on Saturday the 3rd. Have a wonderful Easter weekend, and we look forward to joining you again next week when racing resumes at Kenilworth.